Hey there, we have like eons of stories to tell, so if you want to follow us along on this journey and keep up with all the stories that we have putting out, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Hope you enjoy. Thank you.
Hey, what's up guys, Chad here, and today we are going to be continuing with Avengers vs. X-Men. When we last left off with Avengers vs. X-Men, it was basically the Scarlet Witch showing up, scaring the piss out of the Phoenix Five, and just leaving with Hope Summers. That was basically what she did, right? So basically here, they're retaliating, okay? You got Cyclops, Namor, Emma Frost, Magic, Colossus, the Phoenix Five, the entirety of the Phoenix Five, and all the mutants on Utopia, right? They're basically showing up, and this isn't just, you know, some fight for Hope Summers anymore, right? Like, they're coming here for the Scarlet Witch, right? Because they need to take her off the board immediately. If they don't, they're gonna lose this, right? Because she is like the biggest threat. She can take out any of these guys if she wants to, right? At any point in time. She just doesn't want to, right? She doesn't want to kill any of them, right? So with this happening, they all show up. As soon as they show up, Magic finds the Avengers, right? So with this happening, all right, keep in mind the Phoenix Five, they're not trying to kill the Avengers, right? They're just trying to make them look bad, so everyone will turn against them, right? And they'll basically, everyone will be more willing to let the Phoenix Five keep their powers, right? Because if you look at the Avengers, and you know the general public hates them, they're gonna be like, okay, yeah, we'll side with the Phoenix Five if that's who their enemy is. Sure, like, I mean, yeah, what's the problem with that? That's basically what they want to do, right? So with that happening, all the Avengers and all the X-Men, they just start fighting, right? And like while they're doing that, the Scarlet Witch shows up, right? So when the Scarlet Witch shows up, she's basically talking to Tony Stark through an earpiece, right? And basically Tony Stark, he's trying to, like, you know, get data and get like an analysis on the Phoenix Force, right? Because for the most part, they're probably gonna be trying to use that on her. So, you know, if he's the, you know, like and analyze her the entire time, he could probably find out like what's going on with the Phoenix Force, find a way to destroy it, get rid of it, whatever, right? So with that happening, Magic shows up, right? And when Magic shows up, she tries to take on the Scarlet Witch. You know, she gets like a little, like, she gets like the upper hand sort of at one point, because Vision, you know, like Vision got blasted, and you know, like Scarlet Witch is like focusing on Vision. But when Scarlet Witch focuses her power back on Magic, she takes her out with the greatest of ease, right? Like literally just like wipes her away, right? And when that happens, Emma Frost shows up, right? And when Emma Frost shows up, Scarlet Witch, she's kind of, you know, like exhausted from the fight that she just had with Magic, you know, like, and Emma Frost just like flares her power up, right? Like literally just bringing all this Phoenix Force power until Clint Barton, Hawkeye, blasts her, right? Like sends her flying, right? Now when that happens, she just literally incinerates him, literally just sets him on fire and just lets him burn there, right? And like when that happens, Doctor Strange teleports everyone out of there, right? Everyone backs away, right? Like all the Avengers, they teleported out. The Phoenix Five and the mutants, they went back to Utopia, and they're basically just, you know, having a conversation, right? It's basically like a differing in ideologies between the Phoenix Five, right? Because they're trying to figure out, because they're basically like scolding Emma Frost for setting Clint Barton on fire, right? Like literally, like almost like just barely not killing him, pretty much, right? Like literally, he's on his last leg, right? So, because there's like 3 different opinions that they have right now. Like, one is to not kill anyone, and, you know, like make sure everyone's alive. That's Cyclops, right? He doesn't want to kill anyone. He wants to just make the Avengers look bad, right? You got Emma Frost, who's like, I mean, you know, we can go in, you know, we can like just try to make them look bad. You know, if someone dies, you know, they just die, you know, like stuff like that. Like, she's really nonchalant about the situation. And Namor, he's just like, nope, kill them all, get them out of there. Namor, he just doesn't really care. That's because of the ruthlessness of Namor, right? You know, him being a king, anyone that steps into his kingdom the wrong way, like and they shouldn't be there, he's just gonna kill him. That's basically, you know, how he operates, right? And with that revelation, it's basically just the starting of the infighting between all of these guys, right? Because they're gonna get way more brutal towards each other. It's just gonna take a little time, right? So from there, we actually go to Wakanda, right? So in Wakanda, that's where all the heroes are at right now. Like every single one of them, they got transported there by Doctor Strange, right? And basically Black Panther and Tony Stark, they're trying to figure this stuff out, right? They're the minds behind the operation, right? They're not going out there using their powers and stuff like that. They're just trying to figure out, you know, how to destroy the Phoenix, how to take down the Phoenix Five, stuff like that, right? And basically Tony Stark, he throws out the idea of this suit that he has, right? It's basically a self-detonating suit with enough power to basically take out the Phoenix Force, right? And pretty much he's saying that if he goes and uses it, it'll be the last time he ever lives, right? Like that's gonna be the end of Tony Stark, right? And Black Panther, he just smacks him, right? He just smacks him, and he's just like, no, you don't get to get out of your troubles that easy. You got us into this, you're gonna help us get us out of this, right? You don't get to just like leave, right? You know, you can't just go and kill yourself. Like that's not gonna happen, bro. And basically, Black Panther, he just starts going, you know, throwing out the ideas like, if we can't use like magic, if science isn't working, you know, stuff like that, maybe we have to go, like, you know, go in between both of those, right? And go to the spirit realm and see what, you know, what answers we get from there, pretty much, right? So with that happening, we go to the larger group of the Avengers, right? You know, Thor, Wolverine, Scarlet Witch, all those guys, right? Everyone else besides Black Panther and Tony Stark, right? And they're pretty much trying to, do the same thing, right? They're trying to get like these ideas of how to, stall a little longer so Tony Stark can, get some more analysis about the Phoenix Force and Scarlet Witch and, all that stuff, right? And pretty much what they're gonna do is they're basically gonna go and fight like proxy battles, right? So pretty much they're gonna have like a bunch of different battles in different areas, but they're gonna be small battles, right? So what they're doing is Doctor Strange has these things called the enchantments of Icon, right? And basically what they do is they make you they're pretty much like holograms. They can basically like cast an illusion on you to make you look like someone else, right? So they're basically going to use those and make them look like Scarlet Witch is at every single one of these battles, right? Basically to just scare the Phoenix Five, right? So basically just like, scare the piss out of them, because they're all going to be separated, just scare the piss out of them and make them leave, right? So just like that. So with that happening, we go to all these different areas, right? We go to all these different areas: New York, the Ukraine, the Arctic Circle, the Pacific Ocean, all these different areas, right? And everyone is just throwing these little the enchantments on and basically showing up as the Scarlet Witch, right? And they don't know, the Phoenix Five and the X-Men, they don't know which one is which, right? Like they're all there and they're basically just like, oh, Scarlet Witch is here, right? And they're just like, whoa, how is that possible? She's right here. And it's just like no, like she's over here, stuff like that, right? And eventually it turns out she's there with Namor, right? And Namor goes to try to attack her. She sends him right away, right? Sends him right back to Utopia, right? And that's where all the X-Men, like when they leave, like they're just leaving because Scarlet Witch wasn't there. They're just going back to Utopia, right? Basically just like try to figure some more stuff out. And basically this is where all the Phoenix Five, they show back up, right? And basically Namor, he is letting Cyclops have it right now because he's really dead set on just killing every single one of them, right? He really just wants to get rid of everybody, honestly, at this point, right? And Cyclops is not having it. He's just like, no, like we're do you not see we have the upper hand here? Like we're winning this. Like just hang on, Namor. We don't have to kill anybody. We could just make them look bad, stuff like that. And Namor's like, no, this isn't a game, bro. Like we have to do this, right? If we don't, we're gonna lose this, all right? Like you didn't see what Scarlet Witch just did to me, right? She literally just forced me out of the fight, okay? She could take any one of us out at any point in time if she wants to. Like we can't just keep doing all this little, petty squabbling and stuff. We have to actually end this, just like that, right? And this is signifying Namor's retreat from the Phoenix Five, right? Like, because right after this, he's just gonna leave, right? That he's just gonna go off and do his own thing, right? With that happening, Tony Stark, he's like looking at his analysis and stuff like that, and he actually realizes there's like a connection between Scarlet Witch's power and the power of the Phoenix Force, right? They're basically like, like intertwined pretty much, right? So with that happening, Iron Fist and Liu Kang, like they both show up, right? And basically they're saying that they can take Hope to Kunlun, right? Because basically Kunlun, like you can't just go there, right? Like you can't just go there at any point in time, right? It has to be like a certain time, and if basically if you don't know how to get there, you're never gonna get there, right? So with that happening, they said they could take Hope Summers there, right? Because the Phoenix Five wouldn't be able to get there. And Tony Stark, he's asking, like, can like the rest of us go? Like, like we can all go there and like just hang out, basically until all this is over with, right? So with that happening, we go back to Namor, right? Namor, he's pissed off at Cyclops, right? That he wants to go off and do his own thing. He wants to basically kill every single one of them, right? And basically Emma Frost shows up, right? And basically what Emma Frost is telling Namor is she knows where Hope Summers is, right? She knows exactly where she is, right? And basically she's telling him she's in Wakanda, right? So with that happening, Namor, his eyes, he light up, right? Like he's getting ready, right? And basically we switch right to Wakanda, right? You have Black Panther, Captain America, like all these guys, right? Spider-Man, Beast, like every single one of the Avengers, they're just in there, right? They're just like getting ready to go through the portal to Kunlun, right? And like one of the Black Panther's servant, right? He like shows up and he's like frantic. He's like, oh, King T'Challa, Black Panther, the water, stuff like that, right? And T'Challa's like, okay, hang on, like what's going on? He's like, the lake, Twisted Visions Lake, it rises up and the wall of water simply rose up. Namor is here, right? And he's just standing out there and he's just like, war! Literally just like raining all of it down on Wakanda, literally just destroying the entire city, right? So with that happening, everyone's just like, like trying to get up out of there, right? They're just trying to flee, right? Because there's no way they're gonna beat Namor at this point, right? Like Scarlet Witch probably can do it, but as for everyone else, no, they have to go, right? So basically, they're just like some of the Avengers, they're going in, but like Hope, Iron Man, they have to get out of there, right? Because they're gonna get captured if they don't, right? So people like Black Panther, Captain America, all those different guys, they go like they go out and they go and try to fight Namor, right? So they're just basically like fighting him, basically like trying to hold him off. They're trying to like stall him pretty much, right? So basically like he ends up getting the jump on him by Black Panther, right? And basically Black Panther, he's just like trying to stall him, right? He's just like talking to him. He's like, okay, yeah, you've got to die for this, right? You have to actually pay for, this, what you're doing here, right? Like you're taking my country and you're basically destroying it. You've got to die. Like there's nothing else for us to talk about, right? And Namor, he's just like, I mean, yeah, but how are you gonna kill me, like with a gun? That's not gonna do nothing to me. And Black Panther, he's just like, I mean, I wasn't trying to kill you right here. I was just trying to stall you, right? Every single Avenger just shows up, right? You got Thor, Red Hulk, Vision, Spider-Man, every single one of them, they just show up, right? And Namor, he just like blasts every single one of them away, right? Literally just flares his powers and just like blasts all of them, right? And like they just come back and they just start like pummeling Namor, right? They're just like, everyone's getting their licks in, right? Like Spider-Man, Thor, Vision, Red Hulk, they're all just like pummeling Namor, right? And eventually they knock him down, right? And Red Hulk goes to grab him. Namor grabs his arm, twists around, breaks the entire arm of Red Hulk, right? Like he's just like about to, like Namor isn't like putting up with internet BS right now, pretty much, right? So with that happening, he just starts taking it to every single one of them, right? Like he's just like smacking them away, all that stuff. And he like rises to the air and just like starts like getting ready to like rain his power down on all these guys. Thor shows up behind him, smacks him in the head, right? So with that happening, we go back to Utopia, right? Like during that entire fight in Wakanda, we're going back to Utopia, right? And basically they're trying to figure out, like what Namor is doing, right? They're watching him in Wakanda, like doing his thing, right? They're basically like looking at what he's doing, right? Like attacking Wakanda, attacking all the Avengers. They see this, right? And they're basically like going to Wakanda to basically like try to stop him, right? So with that happening, we go back to Thor, right? Like Thor, he like smacks Namor with the hammer, right? And basically this is where Namor starts beating into Thor, right? Literally just pummeling Thor, like knocks him out and all that stuff. And then the Scarlet Witch shows up, right? As soon as she shows up, they just start, they just start like fighting, right? They blast each other with their powers, and basically Scarlet Witch, she passes out, right? With that happening, Namor, he just like passes out as well, like he just passes out, he like gets knocked out, he's down for the count, right? Like he's down for the count, right? And like as soon as that happens, the rest of the Phoenix 5 shows up, right? And everyone is just trying to book it, right? They're just trying to like get out of there, right? Because basically if they don't, they're gonna die here, right? So they all end up like leaving. They're teleporting away. Basically the Phoenix 5, they noticed something weird, right? Like they noticed something. They noticed like this weird feeling, right? Like as soon as Namor fell, they all got like a bit more power, right? Like all of the power that Namor had before he was knocked out, it basically separated and went into every single one of these guys, right? So every time one of the Phoenix 5 gets knocked down, or like if they were to like die, or get incapacitated or something, their power would go to the next to the rest of the group, pretty much, right? And that's basically what's gonna like signify the downfall of the Phoenix 5, right? So with that happening, Wakanda has been like completely destroyed, like everything just like in ruins, right? Like Phoenix 5, they're just standing there, and basically Professor X shows up. Like he's telepathically communicating with Cyclops, right? And basically he's trying to convince him to stop, right? But Cyclops, he's not hearing it. Like he's trying to tell him to stop, or he's gonna have to force Cyclops to stop. But like Cyclops, he's too far gone at this point, right? Like the power is already corrupting him, so there's nothing that Charles can do at this point, right? So he's basically, if he wants to stop Cyclops, he's gonna have to do it by force, right? So with that happening, we go back to the Avengers, right? And they're all going through the portal to get to Kunlun, right? All right, so this part right here, the story is stupidly good, right? Like I love this part. Like if you weren't a Spider-Man fan before this story, you're probably gonna be one now, because he is, oh my god, I love Spider-Man in this story. All right, so basically we get like this like vision, right? Like basically it's like 17 hours from now. This is what's going on. Basically Colossus, he's basically looking down at someone, right? Like you're seeing like this vision from this person, right? And basically he's like talking trash. He's like trying to keep this person stay down, and like the person keeps getting up, and it basically appears that he kills him, right? So with that happening, we actually go back to the present day, right? Basically it shows what's been going on like during this time, right? Like Spider-Man, he's showing up to this portal, and basically the Avengers are coming back, right? And they're basically telling Spider-Man that Colossus and Magic, they took Thor, right? They basically beat Thor up, and they took him away, right? So with that happening, like we're going and we're seeing all the different Avengers, like literally they're all like in the ICU. Like every single one of them is injured to some degree, right? Everyone has been hurt from this last battle. It's a battle that we haven't seen, but we actually see what Colossus and Magic are doing with Thor, right? And they're basically dropping him inside of a volcano. They have him like tied up, and basically the X-Men from Utopia, they're watching this, like Gambit, Storm, like they're literally watching what they're doing, right? And they're done with this, right? They see that the Phoenix 5 are going too far, dropping these people in volcanoes and stuff like that. They're just leaving Utopia, right? Like Storm, she stays because she has like business to attend to, stuff like that. But she's telling everyone to just go ahead and go, right? Like she has to go and do her own thing, right? So basically, from there, we get like Emma Frost and Cyclops, right? And basically Emma Frost is in this area where, you know, like it's a desolate area, like, you know, it's not really, you know, something that people would, you know, be around. Basically no one will be able to hear what they're saying, pretty much, right? So with that with them showing up there, basically she's telling Cyclops that, you know, like she could easily just turn their minds off. She could just like go turn every single one of their minds off and be done with it, right? But Cyclops, he's still not trying to have it. He's fallen, but not to the point where he's like, you know, ready to just kill every single one of them, right? Like he's not all the way gone like Emma Frost and corrupted like Namor, and well Namor ain't even corrupted, like that's just him. Like I can't say Namor was corrupted, that's just who he is. But like Emma Frost, Colossus, Magic, like he's not completely gone like they are, right? Because he still has some sort of morality, right? So he ends up like flying away because, you know, he doesn't want to hear what she's saying, right? Like, and she ends up telling him that, you know, like she knows where hope is, right? Basically, you know, in Kunlun, right? So he takes off and he tries to go find her, right? And basically Emma Frost is like trying to stop him, like you know, like to get him to come back because she's losing herself, right? And we're about to see exactly how much she's losing herself when she goes to this dude's house, right? And basically she's reading his mind and she knows that, you know, like some years ago he accidentally killed the dude, right? And basically she shows up to this dude and just murders him in front of his own family in his own home and just leaves like it was no problem, right? And basically from there we see how far gone she is, right? Because that was brutal, right? In front of your own family and kids, like she's completely gone at this point, right? So we go back to Wakanda, right? Not gonna lie, this part right here is kind of like messed up, but it's funny, not gonna lie. So basically you have Black Panther, right? And he's in like the remains of Wakanda, right? And like Storm shows up, right? And like she's like talking and basically Black Panther is like, you shouldn't be here, and Storm's like, I mean, these are my people too. And basically Black Panther's like, I mean, no, like these aren't your people, right? Like the high priest has basically said that, you know, like our marriage is annulled, you know, stuff like that. And Storm's like, I mean, the high priest, that's you, ain't it? And he's like yeah, don't come here no more. And he just like takes off, right? It's so messed up because like they were so like, oh my god, that was like one of the best couples in comics, but like he was just like, no, like we're done, like your people came here and messed up everything that my people have built during all this time. No, like you're out of here, you know, just like that. Like it's kind of messed up, but I mean you can somewhat sort of understand, like, you know, like his side of it, right? Like you know, all the mutants just came in and just like messed all this stuff up. But it is what it is. Like, you know, like Black Panther, he's ruthless. Take it for what it is. So from there, we go back to this volcano that dropped Thor in, right? And basically, Storm, what she did is she told these guys that, you know, like this is where, you know, Thor and all of the other people are. Right? This is the volcano that they're in, right? So they basically show up, most of the Avengers, and they're basically gonna go and try to rescue them, right? And pretty much when they get in there, they realize Magic has raised Limbo to this plane of existence, right? Like Limbo, the dimension that she's in charge, like she controls, she basically raised it to this plane of existence. So like it's basically Limbo in there, pretty much, right? You know, have all these like demons and stuff like that in there. And basically, you know, when they turn themselves invisible, Magic and Cyclops, they end up finding out that the Avengers are in there anyway, right? Like, you know, they can feel them, they can sense them. Basically, they just end up showing up there, right? And they just end up going to fight, right? So during this, like all like the volcano itself, like it starts collapsing and stuff like that, right? And like when that happens, Spider-Man, he's just like, all right, everyone, get up out of here, right? Y'all go. I'ma handle this, right? This is where I say Spider-Man is lit, right? Like, cause like Spider-Man, like he tells everyone to get up out of there, right? And it like collapse on them, right? And like they're literally blocked off. Like it's just Spider-Man, Colossus, and Magic, and they're just like stuck in there, all three of them, right? Spider-Man, he knows he has no hope here, right? But like when they ask him, like how do you plan on stopping us, Spider-Man? Like like even if one of us wasn't here, how would you plan on stopping us, right? And he's just like, I mean, the power of laughter, of course. This is what, like back when when, what was it, One More Day? No, it was one of the stories that came out like during this time period. Basically, they were asking Spider-Man, like, no, like, why does he make jokes and stuff like that? And basically, he was saying, like, I mean, I do it to, you know, throw people off, right? I do it to keep people, you know, like, to stress them out and, you know, make them think that, you know, I don't take them seriously, right? Because I don't take them seriously, right? And basically, you know, this is, you know, like, when he's using that and putting it into effect, right? And basically, you know, like, this entire time, he's just, like, he realizes something, right? And basically, he realizes, like, they're far gone, right? Like, they're already corrupted, right? So he can play on that, right? He's gonna, you know, make his jokes and, you know, make him think that he's not taking them seriously, right? You know, stuff like that. Like, they're pummeling him, like they're literally beating the crap out of Spider-Man, literally just destroying Spider-Man at this point, right? You know, like Spider-Man, like a loose stack of pebbles is what his spine is at this point, right? Like he's struggling to stand up. Like they are brutally beating the absolute crap out of Spider-Man, right? And basically, what he says is like, like when he's like finally down, right? They keep telling him to stay down, and he keeps getting back up. And when he's like finally down, like he can't stand any longer, right? And basically, what he's saying is like, like they start bickering with each other, right? And basically, he's saying, all this fighting, y'all just gotta, like get along, right? Y'all are brother and sister, stuff like that. He's like, after all, you both know what would happen to all that power if one of you was to fall, right? And basically trying to play on their corruption. And he's like, I'm sure neither one of you wants to see that, right? And there's like this massive explosion, right? Literally, the entire volcano just like explodes, like literally all of it, right? And basically, like when the Avengers go back into Kunlun, like through the portal, they're like, okay, like where is Spider-Man at? Like what happened to Spider-Man? And basically, Captain America, Black Panther, Wolverine, and Storm, they all stayed behind, right, to go and like look for him. And they like go back in, and they see Magic and Colossus passed out, and Spider-Man is just standing there, literally on his last life, right? And he's just like, and he's still sitting there making jokes, right? And basically, they end up taking him out of there, and they all leave. And he just took down Magic and Colossus by himself. That's why Spider-Man is, oh my god, I love Spider-Man, bro. Like, that sounds basic for me to, like, for Spider-Man to be a, like a top 3 character for me, but he is an amazing character. So, with that happening, we go back to Kunlun, and basically we find out Cyclops tore his way into Kunlun. That is the kind of power that they have here. Like, that's not supposed to be even possible, but he just did it, and he's getting ready to go and take hope back for himself. Now, if you're new to the channel, subscribe, leave a like if you enjoyed the story, and I will see y'all in the next one. The next story that I tell is actually going to be the last one for Avengers versus X-Men. So, like, we're pretty much already done. So, yeah, I will see y'all in the next one.